Internet, how's it going? It's so good to see all of your smiling faces. My name is Mike the CPA. Thanks for joining me once again here on Money and Life TV. This channel is all about teaching people finances, investing, taxes, and more. When I first started out, I think I got my first job when I was about 17. When I got my paycheck, I didn't understand most of what was on it. I certainly didn't understand anything about taxes. Have you guys ever had somebody tell you, you got to see the bigger picture? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the bigger picture of how your paycheck affects your tax return and how that originates and where that all goes and how it works, so that you can have a better understanding of taxes in general and how your tax form works. There's a special reason I'm showing you this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, so please stick around to the end of the video to find out what that reason is. If you guys liked the video today, please don't forget to drop a like and leave a comment down below. I love hearing your thoughts. To start off, I want to ask you guys a question, is what is the first form or one of the first forms you usually have to fill out when starting a new job? Anybody?
W-4. Is it W-4?
Right on, Chipper. It is a W-4. When you first start off as an employee, or when you first, come on board with a company, usually the W-4 is one of the first things they have you fill out. Now, I remember when I was 17, I didn't know what any of this stuff meant. Not a clue. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna fill out your name, address, information, social security number, and all that. But what you're really doing, the greater purpose of this, is the information you put on the W-4 is ultimately going to impact how much tax, federal income taxes, they withhold from each and every one of your paychecks. So based on the number of allowances you put on this thing, if you want to have additional money withheld from each check, that's going to impact your net check whenever you get paid, whether it's every 2 weeks, once a month, or every week. We start with the W-4, we fill it out, and that whatever we filled out is going to impact our pay stub, as we're about to see. On screen here, I've actually included, so this is actually one of my pay stubs, okay? I've had, for confidentiality reasons, because I got a lot of people I work with who watch these videos, I had to make sure I crossed off any information that would reveal how much I make per pay period or whatever. So that's why you're gonna see a lot of stuff crossed out. However, that stuff doesn't really matter, because the main focus of this video is the federal withholdings part. Now, there's a bunch of taxes listed on our pay stub, and I'm just going to focus on federal withholdings. Now, federal withholdings, if you don't know this, it means income taxes only. Income taxes. That's what federal withholdings are all about. Medicare tax is different. Your Social Security deductions are different. That's a whole different kind of tax or a whole different deduction. Now, what I need you guys to do is I need you to put on your imagination cap or your special make-believe hat. Do you guys have one of those? I hope you do. So put it on, make sure it's nice and snug. And what I want you guys to imagine is that pretend this is my last paycheck for the year. So pretend this is like my December 31st pay stub or the last pay period, and I'm not going to receive any more checks or any more pay stubs the rest of the year. What's common about pay stubs, as you guys will notice, is there's usually a current column, which is right here, which records or reports the current activity for that pay period, and a year-to-date column. The year-to-date column is the one that I'm most concerned about, especially when it comes to taxes. So as you guys can see, per pay period, so every 2 weeks in this case, I have 198 buckaroos withheld from my paycheck. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, the best part about opening your paycheck every week is to see how much you've been robbed. We see this year-to-date number now. Okay, so on my pay stub, roughly $3,200 right here has been withheld for federal income taxes, right? So now what? How does that number eventually get to our tax return? Well, assuming this is the last pay stub of the year, this data, this year-to-date number, should now move over to another tax form. Do you guys know what tax form that is? I guarantee you get, if you're working, you'll get it every January or towards the end of every January. What form is that? W-2. It is your W-2. On the W-2, in box 2, what I should expect to see now is my total federal income taxes withheld for the year. And what were they? They were $3,223, and they should show up right here. Now, this W-2 form, you'll usually receive this about mid-January, towards the end of every January. And this is the form now. So now we started with the W-4. We've gotten our pay checks throughout the year and our pay stubs. The final numbers from our pay stub should transfer to this thing called the W-2, which is our tax form. That tax form, the W-2 now, should report our total federal income taxes withheld. And obviously it's going to report your total wages, the amounts you put to your 401k, and so on and so forth. But since we're only talking about federal income taxes, now what's the next step? Now the next step is we need to prepare a tax return. So using our W-2, we can take this tax form and use it as to assist us in preparing our actual tax return. On page 2 of the new 1040, what we should expect to see now is our total withholdings from the W-2. So this is page 2 of the 1040, the income tax return. On line 16 is where we're going to report our total federal income taxes withheld. As you can see, it says right here, federal income tax withheld from forms W-2 and 1099. In this example, we're just pretending we have a W-2, that we don't have any 1099s at all. So that's the only thing we're dealing with here. So now we see there's that number once again here on line 16, $3,223. And just to further explain how this works, as an example, line 15 is our total tax. Okay, so let's just pretend our total tax, and that's a made up number. That's just a made up number, the 2,900. Let's pretend our total tax is less than the total amount of money we withheld. Well, if our total tax was less than the total amount of money we withheld for taxes throughout the year from our pay stubs, then we can expect to receive a refund. Line 19 says, if line 18 is more than line 15, subtract line 15 from line 18. And when we do that, we realize we've withheld more than we needed to, right? So we're going to get a thing known as a tax refund.
Woohoo! Tax refund, baby. Money in my pocket.
So our tax refund in this example would be $323. And that is essentially, ladies and gentlemen, how your taxes from your pay stub affect your tax return. It starts with your W-4. When you fill that out, your W-4 impacts the amount of money withheld from your each and every paycheck you receive. From your final paycheck for the year, that information should be summarized on your W-2, which is a tax form your employer prepares. And then using your W-2, when you go to file an income tax return, you can report the final numbers there, and that is where the withholdings show up. That's where you're going to report those withholdings on line 16. And if you withheld more money than you needed to, then you get a nice thing called a refund. And that's really, if you think about it, that's the only time you will ever see any of this money come back to you, is in the form of a refund. Because otherwise, this money withheld from your paycheck, you'll never see it. But if you get a tax refund at tax time, that's when you might see some of this money come back to you. So now, to reveal the reason I showed you this information, is one of the best things you can do to plan your taxes or keep current on your taxes is keep your pay stubs. Keep track of your different pay stubs and determine where you're at tax-wise for the year. It might be helpful to look back on your previous year's tax return and see how much money has been withheld in years past versus how much tax you owed, and so on and so forth. So as an accountant, I'm constantly looking at my pay stub and like how much money I've made for the year, how much I've contributed to my 401k for the year, how much I've had withheld, and so on and so forth to help me plan out my taxes before the end of the year. So this is super crucial to know. If you guys want to see more videos of how your pay stub affects your tax return, let me know. I would be more than happy to elaborate further and go into further detail. But I wanted to make this video because this is the kind of information I really wish I knew coming out of school. Unfortunately, the school system teaches us nothing about this. It's absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. But this is how it works from your pay stub all the way to your tax return and where it all originates from, which is the W-4. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys got something out of this. Please share this with others, especially if you have young adults or other members within your family who don't know how any of this stuff works, because I certainly did it until I actually became an accountant. If you guys liked the video today, let me know by dropping a like button. It really helps out the channel. Drop your questions, your comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. And be sure to subscribe to our channel by hitting the red subscribe button down below and that bell notification icon to not miss any future uploads. We make videos to help people like yourself become fiscally fit as we teach finances, investing, taxes, and so much more on this channel. So thank you for hanging out with me, everybody. It is always an honor to be able to make these videos for you guys and to interact with you in the comments below. So that's where I'll see you. Until next time, guys, live life uncaged, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.